and then lots of work to be done. No place to hang out or washing, and then I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It is your host, David McCaig. It is September the 11th, 2019, here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, here on its famous 75-cent wing nights. Delicious wings, great beer on tap, delicious food, all the whole enchilada here inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sault's best sports bar, 3 years in a row, and a little spoiler alert, it is going to be 4 this year, obviously. I'm here joined by Justin Hykel and Matt Premo. I'm going to get to the fellas in just a few moments. I'm just going to say welcome back. This is the first show ever since August the 20th, inside Soo, Ontario. Anyways, we've had shows across the river from Soo, Michigan, inside ESPN studios. You can check out those broadcasts on thegamesportshow.podbean.com or check out our website, thegamesportshow.com. And they also stream the shows from Monday that are 6 to 8 on ESPN 1400, live on radio, but streamed online as well. So you definitely don't want to miss any of those shows. When it's myself, Scott, Butch, and EJ, and our special guests, it's always an exciting time. And speaking of live radio, we do plan to have some live radio content. I'm only allowed to tease a little bit, but we plan to have live radio content here in Soo, Ontario for our Wednesday and our Thursday show. And then obviously Tuesdays from Soo Online will continue next week for 1 hour now. They were a half hour in the summer, they'll now be an hour. We will not have a show at Northern Superior Brewing Company tomorrow. That will come back next week inside the tap room. So we'll be back at all 4 shows next week. Just this week we had our show Monday, and we have our show here live here tonight from Sportscenter Bar and Grill. You're listening to the show on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or through our YouTube channel, or potentially one of our sponsors' shared pages like Sportscenter, for instance, on Facebook. And speaking of Sportscenter, Sunday game day draws. You have a chance to win 4 tickets to the Miller Lite Tap Room in Detroit, Michigan. Definitely great. Just come out to Sportscenter for a Sunday night game or a Monday night game or even a Thursday night game, and you can get involved to being into the draw for the Lions game in Detroit. I want to say congratulations to Kelsey Ketcher. She was the winner of the previous draw, and she'll see Detroit against the Detroit Lions, against the San Diego Chargers, if you will, this Sunday inside Miller Tap Room. Don't hesitate to give us a follow on The Game Sports Show, at The Game Sports Show on Facebook, and at The Game Sports Show on Instagram. And The Game Sports Show has a lot of exciting things coming this year. The Twin Sault's only local, regional, national sports show is definitely it's going to be sticking out to its local sports. We are partners with all local regional teams in Soo, Ontario, the Algoma region, and in Soo, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula. So we'll be at all the games, giving you all the coverage, pre, post, during, everything afterwards, and all the reaction from those games in all of our shows, and also throughout all of our posts this year. So we have lots to get to on each of our show. So here tonight, we have a different kind of agenda. We still have our In the Pocket segment coming up. We're going to get some local soccer, some local hockey before that In the Pocket kicks off, and then obviously In the Pocket will be some local football and get into the NFL. Then for part 3, we'll have a round table. Whew. That's a lot of an introduction, but before I continue to some more news, I want to introduce my friends, my fantastic co-hosts, analysts, who devote lots of time into the show and that I'm extremely thankful for, and it's going to be the biggest year that the show is going to bring to Soo, Ontario, and more big things to come. Very excited to announce those bigger things in the coming months, but I'm going to go first to the guy right in front of me on my left, Matt Premo. Preems, good to see you, my friend. How you been?
Good. Glad to be back after a little summer vacation there. And week 1 of high school is in full swing. Week 1 of the NFL, so lots to talk about and excited to be back.
Definitely lots to talk about for sure. Now, last year, Jamie Antonello won the Pick'em Trophy. We do have that this year, and we will have that this year. I know there's only 3 of us right now. Week 1 will not be counting, obviously.
I went 13-2.
Definitely did not pick.
I have proof.
We'll consider. We might give you, if this is in the running, we have to give you a little trophy there. But we are going to talk about those. We're very excited about the pick'em because I finished 2nd last year. It sucked. Justin, one only guy who's in front of me to my right. Some bad radio introducing you guys. I got to do that. It's fun. It keeps it original to what I used to do back in 2015.
Your sense of direction fascinates me.
This is the 5th year, gentlemen, inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill. 5 years, Frank Liguori. 5 years, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Even 5 years to the beautiful Alicia White and staff have us here at SportsCenter, and they haven't kicked us out yet.
I was going to say, it's like they have to know by now that we're here.
Yeah, they just know. We walk in, they know. We got our banner behind us right now. It's it's hanging there.
It's definitely not held up with hockey tape. It's
We've been away from SportsCenter since the beginning of August. We had a well-deserved, I feel, vacation, guys. We had a lot of things this summer to iron out. The ESPN partnership has been fantastic with the show. Soo Online, and a lot of things in development with Soo Online and on TV going forward with the show and the expansion of our brand and everything of such. It's going to be in such an exciting year. Preems with all the local sports we get to cover and the national sports.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. A lot of things coming up in the near future. It should be exciting for the show, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah, it's amazing how people are trusting with us. All these local sponsors and local teams are trusting us, Justin. Just kidding. I don't want to doubt them.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it's funny. No, it's not. It's not funny at all.
No, it's definitely exciting. We're very happy to get to know all the teams and more personally, as we did do coverage with all the teams, especially with Soo College and the Hounds and everything, but now we're going to be really involved, which is fantastic. So, fellas, today's show, we have part one that we're going to be jumping to, and I got to give shout out to Scott Nason, who's going to be our board operator tonight, but I'm his assistant board operator, going to get this over and sent to him. Definitely check out our Facebook page for Monday's show. It was fantastic. But getting into today's show, I got to jump into some newcomers of the show. We have some new staff members. First off, Daniel Scarpino, who is actually a relative of mine, is an Algoma University soccer coach, and he is going to be on the Game Sports Show as an analyst, as well as he's going to be writing articles for the Game Sports Show in terms of soccer. He'll be the one who is in charge to do our pure soccer analytics, soccer reaction, and write-ups. Everything you see on our Facebook page for soccer is Daniel Scarpino. So, going right into that, he had a great write-up that he put on. Check out the Facebook page for that. But the Algoma University women's soccer team earned a win and tie this past weekend in Ontario University Athletics. On Saturday, they played to a scoreless draw against the University of Windsor Lancers and would upend that same team on Sunday by the score of 4-1. Kate Nippert had 3 goals for Algoma, while Sofia Ferrazzo had the other goal. The Algoma men's team dropped both games against the Lancers on the weekend. Sunday's contest, Windsor cruised to a 6-0 victory over Algoma University men's team. On Saturday, the men's team dropped a 4-0 decision. The Algoma women will take a 1-2 record, or 1-2-1 record, into action next weekend at home, while the men fell to 0-4. Both teams are in action for a pair of doubleheaders against University of Waterloo Warriors at Superior Heights. Kickoff on both days is 1 p.m. for the women and 3 p.m. for the men at Superior Heights. Soccer is the Algoma U program in general, fellas. The soccer program has a lot of investment this year, and the new basketball coach with E10 there, it's been some changeover in staff, but Algoma U is really investing a lot into their athletics, and it's just great to see overall. Preems?
Yeah, no, I like to get out and support Algoma as much as I can. I've been out to a couple of basketball games the last couple of years. Definitely, they deserve the support. It's a high-quality product, and there's some great athletes. If you had never watched any CIS basketball, but it's very high quality. A lot of these teams in the OUA are beating teams down in the states that are D1 schools. So if you get a chance, go out, check them out. It's high-quality basketball and exciting to watch, and always good to support our local teams.
Definitely. Now, the women's team finally getting a win, Justin. That must be a relief for the program after you finally get a win after so many years of struggle. But that's what you got to think of a team from Northern Ontario playing against these superior Southern Ontario teams. For them to get the win against Windsor, they used to get absolutely spanked. And I'm going to use that word. And I know I'm going to say Daniel didn't use those words. That's me using those words. I know some players that played on that team for a long time. I'm still a part of university for being an online student there. So I hear a lot of the students talk about the program, but everything's just praised now. And it's good to see them get a W, especially the women. So hopefully the men's can follow that.
It's nice to see, because it's, even for the coaches and everyone that's putting the work and the effort into it, your program's going in the right direction now.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you scrape by for so long, and then you finally pull out a win like that, and obviously the team's going to build off that going forward. So
it is. Now, Algoma University, Dave Marasco in particular, a big follower of the show, director of registrar inside Algoma U. We have a show planned with him on both the radio and TV side with himself, and a Hound player that we're not going to be able to talk about the importance in education. So Algoma University is going to be really involved on the local side this year, and I'm very excited to see, and they're really enhancing and really sticking strict to their program. Next, Soo College, who also made a big splash last year in hockey with their Division III team winning, moving up to D2. They now have a rink at the Rankin, a logo there. Premo and I know the ranking quite well, especially playing there with the Mayor's League. Premo and I against each other again this year in the Mayor's League, except the Game Sports Show will not have a team in the Mayor's League. People asking if the Game Sports Show can sponsor. You can reach out to me. We do want to sponsor local youth athletics. We are pulling out our sponsor from the men's leagues and going into more of the youth. But Premo and I will be against each other. Me on the Hitman. Premo is still on the defending champ Bucci's.
Yeah, we'll have to Marquette's is our sponsor this year.
But, Marquette's. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I knew that.
I know. Things are getting underway. Team league meetings already happened, so excited to get that. But great for Soo College to have a home rink. They had a successful last year. I know they're moving up division this year, so looking forward to see how that goes. I know they got a new athletic director there, Paulo Rossetti. Great football mind, and like to have him on the show maybe one day as well. He's
actually talking to Paul yesterday.
Yeah, he's great. So I mean, all positive things for the Soo College program.
Definitely, it's very positive. And now, speaking of the Soo College program, their soccer is what I want to jump into. Soo College is shifting to outdoor soccer for the 2019 season. They had their season opener Sunday, hosting a doubleheader. This is last Sunday at Superior Heights against Centennial College. The women's team opened the season with a 3-2 win on Sunday, while the men dropped a 1-0 decision. The two teams are set to return to action September the 14th with road games against Algonquin College. Both teams are in the OCAA's East Division in outdoor soccer, a division that includes Centennial, Algonquin, Cambrian, Durham, Fleming, George Brown, Loyalist, St. Lawrence, and Seneca. Definitely great to see this local athletics boom. It's almost like the United States had so much success with it. Hopefully it carries over to Canada here, but hopefully it doesn't affect any of the local programs either in terms of the Greyhounds or Thunderbirds or any types of that. I don't think it will. But the Soo Thunderbirds now transitioning to hockey. They are undefeated to start their season. The Blind River Beavers also started their season undefeated, and the Eagles start the season 0-1-1. The Thunderbirds have home and home this upcoming weekend against the Beavers, starting in BR on Friday the 13th. Back and home on the 14th. Check out www.nojhl.com for all the schedule in the league, or the Sioux Eagles website, or Thunderbirds website or Facebook page for more details. Of course, don't forget to check out those Beavers as well. Now, fellas, one person I want to definitely give a welcome to our show to is Connor Henderson. He was on the TV side of the show this past summer. He is going to be our baseball analyst. He is the coach inside the Black Sox, and he'll be giving us a lot of baseball analysis throughout down the stretch as the World Series time comes around the corner and playoff time in baseball, as the Blue Jays today defeated the Red Sox 8-0. Boy, that Red Sox team is crumbling right now, especially after Dave Dombrowski was let go. So Connor, we're going to have him give up a nice little article this upcoming weekend potentially, and also hopefully have him on the show within the next week or two to give some reaction and some analytics outside and inside of baseball, locally and professionally. Now, fellas, that was our quick little recap in terms of some local sports. We're 12 minutes in, so we got to buy some more time for the beginning of this now to jump into our In the Pocket segment. We're going to start in the pocket here with local football. Then when we're done with local football, we're going to go to break and come back with NFL discussion. And just to read our quick synopsis, and I'm giving credit here to Scott Nason, as we're not scripted on the show, but he gave a pretty good write-out here on the terms of the Cora Colts this past weekend. And who better to give me a score on this write-up than Matt Premo? But the Cora's program here, Scott wrote, the pair of quick touchdowns in the third quarter were the difference in the senior high school football season. Open on Saturday afternoon at Superior Heights. The Colts turned a deficit into the half into a 29-14 win over St. Mary's at Superior Heights. Noah Graisley had a 16-yard TD catch for Cora and a 56-yard run by Tristan O'Flynn. Graisley finished the day with 67 yards receiving on 9 catches and 2 touchdowns. He also caught a touchdown pass of 16 yards. Jordan Robinson Wright, big expectations for Jordan, I would say, this year. Passed for 75 yards and 6 completions for Cora. Nick Pagnotta, absolute beast, led the Knights offense with 126 yards on 15 carries. The Knights returned to action on Friday against Superior Heights in a 7:30 start at Superior Heights. Cora has a bye week this week in terms of in locally, but they will have an exhibition game on the road against Escanaba. The quest for a 4th consecutive city title in junior high school football began on a good note on Saturday for the Cora Colts. As the high school football season opened, the Colts picked up a 37-20 victory over the St. Mary's Knights on the opening day of the season. Lucas Malcolm and Owen Allen had a pair of touchdowns each for the Colts. Malcolm had a touchdown runs of 5 and 69 yards, finishing the day with 151 yards rushing on 11 carries. Allen had 107 rushing on 5 carries, including touchdown runs, 32 and 33 yards. Primo, reaction about this weekend for local football?
Yeah, no, it was good. If the senior game is any indication of how the league's going to be this year, it's going to be very tight between the 3 teams. Unfortunately, it is down to 3 teams right now in the high school loop. White Pines wasn't able to have enough players to field the senior team. So the annual East-West wasn't as typical fashion where you had a couple games that evening. So it was only one game on Saturday for the senior teams. But it was close. St. Mary's was up on Cora in the first half. I'm part of the Cora coaching staff, so we made some adjustments. Halftime came out and were able to come back and secure the victory. But they're a good team. It's going to be tight this season. We haven't seen Superior Heights play yet, but they have some good coaching over there. I mentioned Paul Orzetti earlier. He's been helping out with the Superior Heights program, which is really going to help them. And one of the coaches from my summer staff is helping over there as well. So I know their Superior Heights numbers are a little lower than they've had in year past, but they're going to have a solid coach, and they're going to be a good team. So I expect a tight race between the three teams, and we're looking forward to going out to Escanaba this weekend with the Cora football team and playing there. The Escanaba, for their class, their division, they go to the state semis, the state quarterfinals just about regularly every year. So we're going to be in tough, a little adjustment with the American rules compared to the Canadian rules, but should be a good environment there. Friday Night Lights. They treat things a little bit different down there than we do. So, I mean, the town's going to shut down. The stands are going to be packed, and it's going to be exciting.
Wouldn't it be good? And Justin, I'm going to rebound to actually both of you on this. Wouldn't it be just fantastic? I know it's different rules, different downs, everything. I was kind of chatting with this with Tom Annett, who was expected to come on today, but unfortunately we had to reschedule till next week. It'd be good to get Tom on here. He's always great when he is. But I was just even shooting at him. It'd be great if somehow we can all get those games to count or play against these teams that we're so close to. Unfortunately, you're right. White Pines folding, what I think is awful. I hope one day they can change that and get that program going again. But wouldn't it be just wise to have matchups in the United States against Escanaba, Soo High, or are they programs that are have more to draw from? Is it different? Is it really that much different?
So just a little background on that. This will count for Escanaba, the game. It's an exhibition.
Interesting.
It's an exhibition game for Cora, but for Escanaba, this will count as their season schedule. They base it on school population size, and it'll help with their strength of schedule to determine if they make the playoffs or not. So it does matter for them. They're allowed to play so many out-of-conference games where they schedule them, and so it will count. They will have an opportunity to make the playoffs this year, which they've done in the last couple of years. So, so it does count for them. It doesn't count for us. Sometimes we use those games as exhibition to get more guys playing time, but I think we want to go down there and see what we're made of and see if we can give them a run. And see if we can keep it close, and then who knows, maybe pull out a victory against one of the top teams in the state of Michigan down there for their division. So it does count for them. Tom's done a good job of filling our schedule with only 3 teams in the league this year. We're only playing each team twice, so that's only 4 games. So Tom added 2 American games, so we're playing Escanaba this weekend, and a couple weekends we're going down to Harbor Springs and playing Harbor Springs. So he's able to round out our schedule by calling some of those schools in the States and see if they're willing to play us. Most of them are. They like when they play bigger schools, they get more strength schedule points. It helps them qualify for the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good every time you go down there. I was fortunate enough to go down when I was in high school, and it's a cool experience for our guys to see how big football is in the States and how they treat it. They have the marching band, the cheerleaders.
It's like what you see on movies.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's going to be cool for our players to see, and it'll be a tough competition as well. We haven't lost in a couple years at Cora. We've had some good teams. We had a good run last year going to OFSA, and winning OFSA.
Nice rings, by the way. Saw those rings.
So we'll it'll be good to have some stiff competition and see what we're made of.
Justin, 2 things before we go to break. The play against the United States teams, a lot of good practice for the local guys here, especially with Cora and also White Pines. That unfortunate to see that. In our times, guys, I've went to Basil's and the Dunn. I split my time. Both schools are now gone. You had the Dunn and Bawading turned into Superior Heights, so you lose 2 schools there. Basil's and Mary's combined to make a school. So losing 3 schools essentially since we've been done, right? Including Cass. I know they didn't really have a football team. I know they had a hockey team, and it's never really been strong there for that. But we used to have a lot of teams. Now that we're down to these teams, I think it's almost imperative, Justin, that we have these other teams in the States or teams that we can somehow get a budget into the curriculum or in school programs so we can play teams outside of Sault Ste. Marie.
I mean, number one, I don't know why no one's down the line trying to just, for lack of a better word, farm some of those guys from Cass to come up and play in town. Only because I know at St. Mary's we had a couple guys on our team that came all the way out from Haviland, and I mean they had their choice of school, but they I mean, it helps having a couple 6-foot guys that can fill in on your offensive line.
Yeah, there's some big workers down there, some big guys.
Some big guys down at Cass. But it is kind of sad, just to touch on your point with White Pines, where you're not seeing. Do they have a junior team?
They are fielding a junior. They did play on Saturday as well. It was a little bit lopsided. Superior Heights beat them. I mean, you look at the two sides of those programs. Superior Heights junior team has about 45 kids. With White Pines Sideline, they might have had like 24. So the numbers are low. Kids. So it was a little bit one-sided affair. But if you need somewhere to build from, right? And it starts with the coach, getting coaches there, and they have some coaches that are willing to put some time in and some support from administration, and hopefully they can build off it and find a way to get their enrollment up, because that's huge. It's hard. Football, you need 40 players on a team. If you're only enrolling 300 to 400 students at your school, and
it's amazing how it's changed.
Half those are males, right? So if half of those are males, it could be less than that at White Pines. So now you're trying to field a 40-man football team, and it becomes difficult, right?
Well, and you're not going to get the same 25 guys coming out for 4 years in a row to get their ass kicked. It's
exactly
you can't ask that of them.
Exactly.
It's not.
Exactly. It's not, and it's not good. It's not. It makes them not want to go. It just doesn't look good on the program in general.
Yeah,
right? And that's
but you want to see if there's a kid at a school that wants to play a sport, you want to make sure that they have the chance to do it
to play.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's unfortunate. They have a couple of good football players there that haven't had the opportunity to play football in the last couple of years, and it could impact their, like, if they get a offer from a university to go play, or so you want to see the kids have an opportunity to play, and hopefully they can turn it around there. I mean, right now it's not looking too good, but hopefully in the future they can find a way to get their enrollment up and get some more kids playing football there, and find someone that's committed to getting that program back off the ground.
Definitely hope so. Now, Cora has their foot right off the ground. That program is fantastic over in Cora. No bias here. I'm just saying. That Instagram page, it says boom, and everything's going. Tommy Annetz did some great for that Cora program that we also saw in our day that was a struggling program. Before. Now, things can change.
Things can change. My first couple of years at Cora, we had 24 kids in our senior team, and we went to city finals and narrowly lost to Superior Heights, and that was the change right there. And you could see the culture changing, and now we're in our position 5 years later where we're the top team in the league, and everyone's chasing us.
That's fantastic for Cora, but hopefully it changes.
New jerseys too?
They did get new jerseys.
Yeah. We have multiple combinations.
I was going to say, like those. I saw the yellow ones on the weekend.
So that's sharp. The juniors rolled out the new all yellows, and those are actually reversible jerseys, so they have a white on the other side of them, and
oh my God!
Tom got some mannequins so we can show off the different combinations. And
sounds like Tommy.
Yeah.
Was the mannequin built like him by chance?
Not quite as big, but it's awesome. They're doing all the right things there, and runs a great program, from the strength and conditioning to the Instagram page to the jersey combinations. I mean,
it makes you very proud to wear that and just excited to play. That's the big thing.
No, it's
all about fun.
It's great. It's great, and we're getting some national exposure too at Cora now. We were ranked 35th in the country on a national level, the CFC top 50 teams. Which is great to see, and we even have teams calling us from Southern Ontario to play exhibition games because they want to play against some of the top teams in the province, and Cora is one of those teams right now, and it's really cool to see.
Definitely very good. Now, fellas, David McCaig, Justin Hykel, Matt Premo, inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Soo's best sports bar 3 years in a row. This is the Game Sports Show, Twin Soo's only local regional national sports show. Here for a 5th year at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, and a big year at that, especially for the show and brand. Definitely very excited to bring that to you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, there's more in the pocket. We're going to go the professional football route here, so make sure you don't touch that dial, don't touch that volume, don't change anything, don't click off that website. I don't even care if your boss is walking in. If you're listening to the show right now, you're listening to the game. It's involving Soo. Support the local. That's all I got to say. Keep it on here on the Game Sports Show.
You can follow the Game Sports Show on Facebook and Instagram at the Game Sports Show.
This is Andy Frost, and this is the only regional sports show in the Twin Saults. This is the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Saults' only local regional and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig, and I'm still joined by Matt Premo and Justin Hykel inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Saults' best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Spoiler, it is going to be 4 now. I did forget one thing at the beginning of the show. There was a lot off there. Jamie Antonello, where is he? I can't see Jamie. Jamie is not in Sault Ste. Marie. for the time being, and he won't be for the year. He is currently continuing education. He is doing some life stuff, as I would say, but he is still going to be involved in the show fully. He is going to be on the show every Wednesday that we can get him on. He's going to be on through Skype, and then when we go live, it'll be the same thing. Let's get him on the computer, and we hope to have Jamie on next week as long as we get all the Wi-Fi and everything fixed up, and I believed I did today, so hopefully we have Jamie on next week. And Jamie, I miss you, man. You've been here for 4 years. Definitely still good that we're going to have you on and when you come home. But, boys, we're jumping into the NFL now in terms of in the pocket segment here, or in the pocket segment's been around for since the show has basically started, and I want to say that name came from Dustin Grondin. I can't say that didn't. It actually came from a friend of Dustin's, Dan Fenton, who then Dustin took over and said that I should use it for radio, and that's where it's expanded to here now. Now, we're going to talk about the NFL in week 1. Now, I'm not going to go through. Everyone knows the drill if you're a follower of the show. If you don't, what we do when we talk the NFL and the NFL season is we do not go through the scores. We don't have the time for that. And you can look it up on your any score app that you have, and you'll see the scores and results. And it is Wednesday, so it has been quite a couple of days since the last football game, in particular with the Patriots and Steelers. Yikes, if you're a Steelers fan, hello, that is me, taking off my host hat here for a minute. But you can just look at the scores that way. What we do here on the show is we just pick a game around the table each that we're going to talk about, that we nitpick, and if there's only a little bit of hot news that we jump into on week 1, that's what we jump into. We don't really go over the scores. But when we transition into week 2, when we go around the table, we do our predictions. We're going to have another Pick'em trophy this year, and with that, we go around the table, we have our picks for each game, a little quick little reaction about that game, and we keep tally about those games throughout the entirety of the year, and the winner at the end of the season will get the Pick'em trophy. Then there is a bonus trophy at the end of the year for a Super Bowl prediction. But fellas, jumping into week 1, Premo, I'm putting you on the spot first, my friend. What game do you want to talk about, and what is really on your mind about week 1 that happened?
Lots on my mind, but I think in not having Dustin on, I'll talk about his Saints maybe, which was maybe the game of the week, the most exciting game, that's for sure.
Yep.
It was high scoring. Texans came back, nice couple passes by Deshaun Watson there, and it was great. Came right down to it was a 59-yard field goal to win the game.
Yeah,
I believe
so, yeah. I have him in fantasy. Anyone else too? You're loving it.
I think it would have been good from 65. He actually killed it, and great game. Little slow for the Saints getting started. They didn't look too hot in the first half, but they came around second half, and Drew Brees is still Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I think he has the most fourth quarter and overtime comebacks ever in NFL history.
I believe that's correct.
And it was what an exciting game. They kind of got screwed by the refs again at the end of the first half. The Saints, where they managed to clock the refs, and they kind of missed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was watching the game. I knew that they were messing that up, and it should have been a runoff from when the play was dead, not from when the clock stopped. But the refs got it wrong. Usually they don't. The NFL is pretty good, but they got it wrong. They missed out on 3 points there, but able to have an opportunity to come back and kick a field goal to win the game at the end. The Texans look good. I mean, the Saints look good, and exciting to see how that division pans out. The Saints, and they can make another run and push for the Super Bowl again this year.
See, and I'll go next. Justin, we're going to you next. The games. There's a lot of games that were not entertaining, in my opinion, but the Ravens absolutely just shellacking the Dolphins, which is a big dumpster fire right now that I know we'll get into when we talk about some talks about week 1 and into a roundtable. Then we also have the Detroit Lions blowing a lead and just calling a timeout after Stafford got the first down. And the Lions, look, we got a lot of Michigan listeners, and we ranted about on Monday, did Scott and Butch, and I won't jump into it anymore. I won't beat a dead horse on any of that, but geez, Lions, I cannot understand the Lions. If they wouldn't know how to lose a game, no one knows better how to lose a game besides the Lions. Maybe the Browns, and that's what I'm going to say right now. The Browns losing to Tennessee, all that hype. Listen, the Browns are a good football team. They'll get together, but people are forgetting one thing. Tennessee is a good football team. Okay, that is a good football team. Don't underestimate the Titans, and don't think that they're really not that good. They are a good football team. They are going to be a team that can sit for the wild card, in my opinion. If not win the division, maybe. there at the end of my little statement. But overall, the Browns didn't look sharp. They lost by 30 points. But the big game that I'm going to talk about, I'm obviously going Steelers and Patriots. Okay, I know we're going to talk Antonio Brown, and he's a loser, in my opinion. I shouldn't really say that professionally speaking, but the way he's acting, or he's just a genius, I don't know. But the Steelers, God.
If you read his emails, he's not a genius.
No. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers were outmatched by Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, okay? That New England Patriots team is scary good, okay? And if Gronk comes back, which I think he will by week 10, not 11, not 14, anything. He'll be back by week 10. And with him and Antonio Brown on that team in the future, I cannot see his team not winning the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to go there right now. The Steelers were embarrassed, okay? And at the end of the day, this team, like, how many slant passes do you, and cut-in passes, everything you got to throw before you catch on that you can stop it? The Steeler defense was no match. But you know who looked pretty good? Bush. I like Bush in his first game. I think there's a lot of upside and a lot of excitement there. Juju Smith-Schuster was pretty good. I'd like to see Washington explode. I'd like to see Big Ben throw the ball to Washington. I think he's got a lot of speed, and you got to really learn to utilize him this year. And McDonald. Thanos in the end zone has to be strong and really rely on him because Juju's going to have a lot of double coverage, especially in the 20-yard line and under in the red zone going forward in the season. But Steelers had a very poor performance in week 1, but against a team in the Patriots that are riding high and nothing but confidence, and they are great to watch. Let me tell you, I don't want to say that. I'm sorry, that might burn you, Justin. Okay, but I am not going to lie or hold anything back here. The Patriots are a good football team, and it upsets me to the core. And they had to embarrass the Steelers, winning by 30 in week 1, and the Steelers weren't even a matchup for that. So hopefully they can bounce back to the Steelers. And if the Patriots continue to ride this, because you know who they play this upcoming week? The Miami Dolphins.
I got a stat for you, though.
Okay, hold on. Before you say that, I am going to say right now the Patriots and the Dolphins, it's going to be a game. But let me say, just to wrap up about the Steelers, not a good start to week 1, but that game has so much potential to be exciting, but the Patriots to shut the Steelers down. Justin.
Patriots have won once in Miami in the last 7 years.
Yeah, 5-1 Miami
they did.
at home.
They did.
The
I was saying that. I was actually watching the game with Dustin at his house. Was I with the Steelers and the Patriots in my Troy Polamalu Steeler jersey, which I almost threw out the door, mind you. But you know, when I mentioned about that, and I know Dustin looked at me and just gave me his Dustin Grondin look. You know, I think this year might be the exception. I don't think the Dolphins change or continue that stat inside Miami. It just doesn't, especially with the gong show that's going on there right now.
I don't know. I'm not all in on the Patriots hype train as of yet. That's
you don't think that'd be scary when AB joins and then if Gronk comes back?
I don't think the Patriots are going to come out hot and run it all season. I really don't. I think there's going to be a few ups and downs as they feel out that roster, and likewise with Miami. I don't. As bad as they were against Baltimore, those are still NFL football players on that roster.
And Baltimore's not a bad football team either.
No, that was a totally different look Baltimore Ravens than everyone's seen for the last 20 years.
Lamar looked fantastic.
Yeah, they had an offense.
He did look good.
He did.
Miami is going to be bad, and I don't think they're hiding that they're going to be bad. I think they know. They had a couple of players come and ask for trades after week
the
1.
Whole team.
But I think the one thing that people aren't talking about, I think the Patriots' defense is going to be really good this year. I mean, they're solid. Their secondary is really good, and if they can play man coverage, it allows them to do a lot of different things with their front seven. So I think that's going to be something that's not as talked about because everyone's talking about their offense, but their defense is actually really solid. They've talked about it being one of their better defenses they've had in a while. And back to the Steelers, looks like they tried to play man coverage, and if you can't get to Brady, he's going to pick you apart.
Yeah, he is.
You got to get to
42 years young. He gets younger. I think he's getting younger per year. Man, he looks young. Looks like he's 25.
He looked good, and that's the thing. If you can't get to him with pressure, I mean, look back at my Giants beating them in the Super Bowl. They got to him with pressure.
Well, you have to beat him up.
You have to get to him, and you have to get them with 4 guys. Your D-line has to be able to get there 4 or 5 guys max because you got to put guys in coverage because he'll make you pay if you don't.
That's why the Eagles were so good against them in the Super Bowl a couple years back.
Yeah, that the D-line can get after him and get pressure, and you got to get pressure up the middle. Like you got to make him uncomfortable because you get pressure outside, he slides up and he just delivers it on the money. But they could be dangerous with those weapons. We'll see how this whole Antonio Brown thing pans out because
we're definitely coach. We got that coming.
If I was a coach in the team, I wouldn't want my team. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But yeah, Pittsburgh, they just looked flat, and I mean, it could be week 1. I mean, they could they could turn it around. I wouldn't put too much stock into what happens in week one. Everyone jumps to conclusions too early, but I still think they're a good football team and they'll get it figured out. But yeah, the Patriots look good, and just you got to find a way to get pressure, I think, to beat them, and you got to be able to mix things up because Tom Brady's been in the league how long now? He's seen just about every coverage or everything you can imagine. So he gets into the right play call and he delivers it, and more of it's mental than the physical. I mean, he's still got a cannon for an arm, but guy's not running around. He's just strictly drop back guy, but. Yeah, I don't see Miami winning week 2, but you never know. That's why they play the game, right?
I'm still putting them on a pro line ticket. That's
just play the cover. I mean, the spread right now is like 18.
Yeah,
that's like probably the biggest spread I've seen in the last I don't know how long.
Years. Yeah. So now, Justin, we talked a variety of games there, but your turn to talk about week 1.
I think everyone knows where I'm going.
Yeah, I do. Andrew Luckless Colts.
Colts and Chargers. I mean, aside from my usual just giving my opinions on the Colts game, life without Andrew Luck all of a sudden.
I got lots of questions about that for you. But
well, you know what? We got a solid offensive line and an adequate quarterback. I'll pull up the stat sheet here. It also helps Marlon Mack ran for 173 yards, 1 touchdown. So you really own the clock that way. But, Brissett, 21 out of 27, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sacked twice. Hilton had 87 yards. Both touchdowns went to him. So the rough one there was Vinatieri. Missed 2 field goals, missed an extra point, and we ended up losing the game in overtime.
Yep, old man Vinatieri.
But, the Chargers didn't look bad either. Especially their running game without Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he might not play this year.
Austin Eckler looked really good.
Yeah, why are you going to pay him when you got 2 other guys?
Well, that's just it. They looked all right. Their offensive line is really good, and I mean that's going to be the key to Phillip Rivers' success this season too.
Yep.
They're running some injuries right now, though. They got Hunter Henry's gone down for a couple weeks, and their receiver is apparently injured too. Mike Williams is banged up a bit, so. Detroit may be able to take advantage this week of a couple injuries and a long trip from the West Coast to the East Coast. And maybe
that's in Detroit this week too.
So maybe they can pull off an upset. Maybe things are looking good for Detroit this Sunday.
T.Y. Hilton didn't look like he was behind any step or anything of such, right?
No, the one thing I found fascinating is that a lot of his plays, he was catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage and rushing up. So I mean that's as a receiver, I mean most of your yards he's getting yards after the catch, and that was a pretty impressive for me. It was a totally different look Colts offense. Tight end, there wasn't a whole lot of usage there. I was figuring Ebron was going to be a big fantasy asset for me this season, but not a whole lot there. It's an interesting season. I mean the Colts look like they have a running game mostly in part to the offensive line. Yep. And I think Brissett's going to be okay. Well, I mean, we'll see this week. We're playing Tennessee.
Yep,
I mean, Tennessee's defense give you a different look pretty well every series that game against Cleveland. So
Andrew Luck.
It'll be a test.
I need to, before we go into talking about week 2 and our predictions, and I'll give you a minute for the floor here, Justin, because we didn't get to talk about it because we haven't been on air since Andrew Luck retired. All of a sudden. Now, my questions to you, and Preems, please jump in and add any questions you want to ask after, and somehow answer as quick as you can, Justin. Fans booing him, first off. Secondly, your reaction about him retiring.
Well,
as a fan, take it off your host hat right now. I want you to speak as a fan.
And here's the situation, because I found out at the gas station. I have a Colts sticker on the back window of my truck. Some guy got out of his car and started laughing at me and said, "That sucks." And I just started mouthing off to him because he was probably a shit Patriots fan. And he's like, "Well, at least my quarterback didn't retire." What do you mean?
Yeah, I found out. I was out at the camp, no cell service. I come back into reception like a couple days after it happened, and I'm like, no, this isn't real. I thought it was a joke.
Well, you know what's big news when Dane messages you from the forest, like wherever the hell he is, climbed up a tree somewhere to get cell phone service. And
Dane Hancher, one of the analysts from the show, if nobody knows that is, he's on our Thursday show.
But in regards to the fans booing, there was supposed to be a press conference Sunday afternoon to announce the retirement. One of the sports media outlets got a hold of the story and leaked it early.
Yeah, I think Schefter leaked it. But I mean that's his job too. But so you got to do a better job at keeping that.
Well, 100%.
Like whoever let that slip in the front office, like that's a no-no.
Well, that's a big deal. And I mean, from the fan perspective, when you see your quarterback high-fiving people on the sidelines and then you see a car come across the scoreboard that he's retiring, how are you going to react to that?
Yeah, that's like
because you don't know what. I don't know. As a fan, to me, like, I understand why they're booing, but the boos shouldn't be directed towards him. As soon as I saw him in the press conference afterwards, I knew, and I'm okay with it. Like, I hold nothing against him for any of this. That's when the guy tells you he's been locked in a training room for the last 2 years. You can't see your teammates. You can't do it. I haven't played football at anything close to that level, and being locked away for 2 years at work by yourself has to be miserable. Absolutely miserable. You don't blame the guy. I mean, now he's got some financial security to walk away to. I think he also graduated school.
Yeah, he did.
So like he's not a dumb guy.
They go to Stanford, so
yeah,
he'll be okay. I mean, it's not like he's retiring and just going to live. I mean, he'll probably live off that money, but he's going to do something else too.
Yeah,
maybe get to be an analyst or something. Maybe down the road.
You know what? I bet you he totally disappears.
I don't think you'll see him. He'll do something else outside of football, I think. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he comes back to the game. Everyone, like, you can lose love for the game, especially when you're battling injuries like that. You can lose the love, and then you can start to miss it very quick, right?
Okay.
So who knows? Like he could
it's
regret it.
It's a strange situation.
I'm not saying he will, but that is a possibility, right? Because sometimes you just when you're never out of it and you lose the love for it, and it becomes a grind, especially when you're battling injuries. That you can just be like, I've had enough. But then after being away, if you do get away from it, you may want to come back, and not saying he will, but that could be a possibility as well. And in terms of the fans booing, and I thought that was bad too. But it's just your initial reaction. Same as when we were talking about the Durant injury in the playoff finals, where the Raptors fans were cheering. It was just an initial reaction. Well, I'm sure they would get it after, but sometimes you just initially react without really thinking. And I'm sure that was the case. And if anyone still wants to boo him, I think they need to give their head a shake, because he gave you a couple good years and he put his body on the line.
Well, the guy gave us everything. Yeah, absolutely everything. And you can't hold that against him. But I mean, I think Sid put it the best on Tim and Sid the Monday afterwards. And he said, like, you can't hold it against those fans in that moment because they just watched everything walk off the field. I mean, the way the Colts played going into the playoffs last year, and then this year was we were, and I say we, like, again, I do this all the time, like I'm part of the team, but
you're taking off your analyst hat.
They were a perennial Super Bowl favorite. I mean, not perennial, but they were a Super Bowl favorite this year. I mean, they were probably going to be a top 5, top 6 team in the league, and now you're stuck with a virtual unknown at quarterback. So
you still got Quentin Nelson.
Oh yeah, and I mean football's next man up. That's
the way.
Has anyone seen that video of Quentin Nelson? Oh my god!
Did you see his high school basketball video that's going around?
I'll have to check that out.
Oh man, and like he's the same size as he is now in high school. Like he's just dunking on kids. He does a no look and tosses it up behind him. It just goes in.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's the real deal. He's a man, that's for sure.
Week 2, fellas. Transition. We got about 10 minutes left here in part 2 before we go into our roundtable discussion, if you will, here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. David McCaig, Matt Premo, and Justin Hykel. Listen to the Game Sports Show on thegamesportshow.com or thegamesportshow.podbean.com or through any of our sponsors. Through Soo Online, on TV, ESPN, SportsCenter's Facebook page, anything. You're listening to the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. I love just saying that. Week 2. Let's start, fellas. You know how it goes. Everyone knows the drill. If you don't know the drill, let me give you a quick reminder. We go around the horn, give you predictions, tally up the totals for the end of the year, and just give your reaction. And I'm using this courtesy of NFL.com on their schedule. Give them a little shout-out with that. Can't say that I wrote this on paper because my writing wouldn't be able to probably read it. Buccaneers and Panthers. They're going to be Thursday night football inside Carolina. The Bucs and Panthers. And we're going to go around the way that I kind of went for the topics. Premo first, and then Justin, then me, and then it's going to go me, Premo, Justin, just so we don't rebound off each other's picks or think that we're choosing based on each other, as I know I got blamed for that a couple times last year. Premo, Bucs or Panthers, my friend?
I got the Panthers here. I mean, the Bucs are kind of still look like the Bucs. Jameis Winston, I think they got to look at finding a replacement in the next coming years. So I got the Panthers. They looked pretty good last week against the Rams. I mean, they kept it pretty close, and I think that's a pretty easy one. Panthers.
Justin,
I'm taking the Panthers in this one. If you want an entertaining clip, though, watch the Bruce Arians press conference today where he throws Akeem Hicks totally under the bus. They ask if it's going to be an emotional comeback to Tampa or for McCoy there. And Bruce Arians says, well, as long as he doesn't get tossed from the game, we should be fine.
Fellas, I had this already written in. I had the Panthers down as well. I'm hoping for a big week from Mike Evans because of my fantasy team, which finished first again last week. A big week for them as well. But besides that, you have the Panthers, who I think with Cam Newton this week, I think they're going to have just a strong week. Week 2. Game 2. Here I am being a little bit distraught. Game 2. Cardinals, Ravens. I'm going to go first on this here for the Cardinals and Ravens. And I'm going to go with the Ravens. As much as I, want to say that as taking off my host hat here and putting my Steeler fan hat off for a second, I want to say the Ravens are going to lose. But you know what? Realistically, Cardinals had a great week last week. Larry Fitz was prime. He looked great. But you can't say that the Ravens, that's a good football team. Ravens are going to get the win next week. Justin.
I'm going with the Ravens. I don't really see the Ravens letting the Cardinals back into a game like Detroit did this week.
Oh, yikes. Primo.
Yeah, I'm surprised the spread's going to as high as it is. Ravens look good in week 1, but I don't know if they're 2 touchdowns better than the Cardinals. So that's interesting, but I still think the Ravens take this one. But if the Cardinals could play the way they did in the fourth quarter, they were kind of slow getting started. Kyler Murray was a little slow getting started, but he played well in the fourth quarter. If they can, I think they can cover that spread if he plays well, but I still got the Ravens winning it.
I think so as well, definitely. Justin, you're next up for Game 3, Chargers-Lions.
I'm taking the Chargers in this one. That's the Chargers, grounded out against the Colts last week, and the Lions played some sloppy ball in the second half of the game. So,
you know what? I'm not doing this because we have Lions listeners, but I'm going to go Lions. I just have a feeling for the Lions. I think they're going to try to turn it around. Week 2, I think they'll play a different approach. They're at home. And some injuries with the Chargers. I really feel that they have to turn that. Not an embarrassment because they didn't lose. They tied the Cardinals, but it's a game they should have had in the bag. So, Lions.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that timeout that their offensive coordinator called, they would have won the game.
Primo.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm going to actually go with the Lions here as well. We talked about this earlier. Chargers got a couple of injuries. They're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast. That always means it's basically like them starting a game at 10 in the morning. Yep. I think Detroit being at home, the environment, first home game of the season, being the Ford Field being amped up, I'm going to take the upset here and take the Lions.
And if you want to be at that field, don't forget the Sunday game day draws win 4 tickets to Miller Lite Tap Room in Detroit. Game 4. Going through this as quickly as we can here, fellas. The time constraints and buying time as we go. Titans, Colts. Primo first.
I got the Titans. We were talking about it earlier. They look good. I think Vrabel's got that team rolling. I'm going to take the Titans.
Justin.
I have to, and I'm taking the Colts, but I think it's going to be a tight one. Titans' defense is good.
You know what? The Colts still a good and impressive performance, but I got to go with the Titans as well. Very close. I think it's going to be a field goal score of a difference, in my honest opinion. Justin, going to myself for 2, and to keep this random as we go. 49ers and Bengals. I don't think the Bengals got a strong team this year. Maybe people will say the Niners don't either, but I am picking the 49ers to win this game. Justin.
I'm taking the Bengals. Bengals looked pretty good last week, and they always seem to have an adequate running game, and John Ross really broke out.
Preems.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get John Ross on the waiver wire this week in my fantasy league, so I scooped him up. There was a couple receivers I was eyeing after week 1, but I was able to manage to get him. I think this is going to be a really close game, and people may think that San Fran's going to win this easily, but I think the Bengals are a little bit more improved. New offensive coordinator there. They put up some yards. Dalton had the highest passing yards in the whole NFL.
Really comfortable in their new offense.
Yeah, it was good to see. I still think the Niners win this one, but I think it's going to be a better game than people expect.
So your pick is the 49ers as well,
yeah.
You and I right now, Preems, are mirroring picks right now.
That's not good for me.
Jaguars, Texans. Justin, start us off.
I think Houston's got this one in the bag. They looked unbelievable Monday night. Their defense looked really good. And given the Jags' issues right now with quarterback, they're the lack thereof.
Still an upgrade from Blake Bortles.
Hey,
potentially.
I didn't think Bortles was that bad.
I like Bortles.
Preems.
I got the Texans here.
Yeah,
I don't think they can. I don't think the Jaguars can hang with them. Rookie quarterback looked good last week for the Jaguars, but let's see how he does when he's thrown in as a starter. And I think things will be a little bit faster for him, and he's got J.J. Watt chasing him down. So I got the Texans.
Clean sweep, as I just basically gave away while you were talking there. Texans throughout the board. Vikings, Packers. Hopefully this breaks it up. I'm going to go to you, Premo.
Yeah, I'll take this one first. I got the Vikings winning this one. I know they're going into Lambeau, but their run game looked pretty good week one. I hope they can keep that up. I got Cook in my fantasy, so I'm hoping him to have another big game.
I'm hooked on a Thielen.
Yeah, their offense is good, man. You got Diggs, Thielen, Cook. Cousins is definitely serviceable. I like the Vikings going in there and beating the Packers.
I'm going to say I had the Vikings already down, as Justin could say as well here as I look at the computer. So I'm picking the Vikings.
Yeah, we're going to be a clean sweep on that one. The Packers just didn't impress me Thursday night last week. The Vikings offense is too balanced, and I think that's what does it.
Yeah, I think they can grind that out. I think their run game, they're committed to the run game this year. They got Kubiak there as your coordinator.
Yeah.
The guy, he's made some average running backs look really good, and now he's got a really good running back, and I think he's going to look even better. So I think they grind that out.
Now I think this one's going to be a clean sweep too. So I'm going to go first. So here's why I think it is. Cowboys. Zeke is in the lineup. People got him in fantasy. Good pick. Highest paid right now, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Running back. Rightfully so. I think the Cowboys run the board on the Skins, to be totally honest with you. Preems.
Yeah, I'm there too. Skins look actually pretty good in the first half last week, but I think the Cowboys, they take this one.
Justin.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys. The Redskins, I pretty much said they look good in the first half, and then they just died.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. The 33-year-old Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, he was a lightning rod. He was fantastic.
Yeah, they said he was the fourth fastest player in the NFL for week one. They got those like next-gen stats.
That's nuts.
And they interviewed him today. He said that wasn't even 100%. So he still got it.
He's still got it.
Though. Like, that was like Deshaun Jackson and Philly of old that was out there.
Seahawks, Steelers. Justin, start us off, my friend.
I'm taking the Seahawks. Steelers look brutal.
Oh, okay. We might have some difference here. Primo?
I have the Steelers here. I think they get back home, get to Heinz Field, and I think they turn things around. I think they're embarrassed with their effort on the Sunday night primetime, and I think they get it figured out this week, and they find a way to beat the Seahawks.
It's going to be a good scoring game. I got Russell Wilson in fantasy, but I'm going with the Steelers here. I think it's going to be in the 20s for both teams in this game. As the Steelers, I think if the Seahawks really watch the game tape against the Patriots, you can see the slant play. The Steelers got to really get on tune with that, with the short passes, or else they're not going to be successful. And I think Russell Wilson will like to do those short passes and also run the ball a whole bunch. But I'm still picking the Steelers. Next up, Bills, Giants. I'm going to go to Preems first. I know where Preems is going with this.
All right, I'll definitely be watching this game on Sunday. Obviously, Giants are my team. Not the start we wanted, but I got the Giants winning this one. The Bills squeaked one out against the Jets week one, but I think the Giants get them here in week two.
You go first.
I'm going Giants on this one. I think the Giants put out a better effort against the Cowboys than most people are willing to give them credit for.
Yep.
And if you have Saquon Barkley in your backfield, you always have a chance.
I'm going to be different. I'm going Bills. This is the way they squeaked. And it's that one team that I just feel is, and I'm not going against Preems here. I don't have anything against Preems because I know he's a Giants fan. I just got a little feeling there's going to be a couple teams this week that might get some upsets, and I think the Bills is it. Something about the Bills this week. They're not a playoff team, but they seem to start 2-0 and then be a disaster the rest of the season. Just seems so fitting for the Bills. Next up, Patriots, Dolphins. Do we even need to go to this one, boys? Or can we just all write Pats on this?
I'm going to take the Dolphins because I want to be that guy.
Oh, you want to be that guy. Okay. Are you doing that because of your love for Tom Brady?
Yes.
No, that's one of those ones if you get it right.
I look like a genius.
Hero,
All right, next up. Chiefs, Raiders, boys. That's going to be a good football game.
I think so, too.
That's going to be a very good game, very entertaining. I think the defense for both teams, too, is going to be pretty imperative in the team's wins, as every defense is. But my whole point is I think the Raiders being at home, this game might be closer. But Preems, I'm going to you first.
Yeah, divisional game. Both are tied for first place in the division right now. I think it's going to be good. I got the Chiefs still winning this.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to be a good game, I got the Chiefs coming out on top.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Raiders in this one, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of those 14-13 scores.
Oh, so think Mahomes is going to go weak. I was going to type Raiders down for me, but I am also going Chiefs. I just think
that Raiders D-line looked pretty good in week one. Yeah. They got some pressure on Flacco.
Jacobs was impressive, too, running the ball. I wasn't expecting much out of him, and holy cow.
Don't count out this team, I'll tell you. Saints, Rams. This is my game of the week right here, in my opinion. This is the game that I am excited to watch.
And that's a 4 o'clock game?
And it's a 4:25 game. I was looking at the Falcons and Eagles even being an entertaining game, believe it or not, which is coming up in a little bit here. But Saints-Rams, and I'm going to go first. And I love Drew Brees. I love the Saints, but I got to go with the Rams. I really think the Rams being at home. That rematch of last year, it's going to be a lot of energy going on there. I got to go Rams. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going Rams. I'm sorry to Dustin Grondin and to Jamie Antonello and the Saints fans, but I just got a feeling for the Rams. Preems?
Yeah, this is a rematch of last year's NFC Championship, and it could be a preview of this year's NFC Championships. Realistically, I think those are the two top teams in the NFC. So I'm going to have to agree and go with the Rams. I think the home field advantage. I think they pull it off. I think if it was in the Superdome or in New Orleans, that I'd give New Orleans a bump. But I think the Rams being at home would take the Rams.
Justin,
I'm taking the Saints in this one.
Okay, we got some differences here, boys. Finally, that's good.
For some reason, when Drew Brees has to play outside, I just don't think he's as good.
Bears Broncos. We got about 5 minutes left, boys. We bought a little bit of time, and we still got part 3 to get into. So, Bears Broncos. I'm going to go Justin first.
I don't want to pick a winner in this one, but the Broncos look bad. So I'm taking the Bears.
So the Bears.
Yeah, but with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and you don't even rush the quarterback.
Yeah, they didn't get any pressure.
No, I don't think the Broncos are it, but Preems?
Yeah, I got to go with the Bears here. I think they definitely underperformed on Thursday night. I think Nagy's a better offensive coordinator than what he showed on Thursday. I think he finds a way to get that offense rolling, and the Bears win this one. The Broncos don't look that good.
Couldn't agree more. Clean sweep on the Bears. Eagles, Falcons. Now, I said on radio, you can refer back to August or July, that I said I would run the streets naked and get my back tattooed of a Julio Jones jersey. An actual jersey on my back, paid out of my own pocket. I discovered the Canvas, sponsor of the show, a little plug-in for Katrina, that if Julio actually ran for 3,000 yards this year, I would do that. Okay, so I don't think that is going to happen. That was said on radio. You can look back. He did say that. He said he was going to run for over 3,000 yards this year. He is a long way away from that still. Eagles, Falcons, but I still think the Falcons bounce back this week at home. I think that Matt Ryan being at home, it's just fitting. The Eagles are a good football team. They're one of the top teams, but I'm going to say the Falcons pull away at home. I'm going to go Preems next.
Yeah, surprisingly, we've agreed on quite a few of these, but I got the Falcons win this one too, and they did not look good week one. But,
they did not.
But
Dane was at that game, actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
inside Minnesota.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
I
Poor
went to the
guy.
Homer last year in Minnesota. That's quite the environment. So it's a good time there. But the Falcons didn't look good. But I think they get back home and they get back into the new stadium there and they get it figured out and they get a win.
Justin.
I'm taking the Eagles in this one.
Oh, we love the differences.
I'm on the Deshaun Jackson hype train right now. He looked unbelievable. That was Madden Deshaun Jackson out there.
Yeah, he was great. I'm not on.
There's a lot of glitches in that game, by the way.
The new one?
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, I also have not played it.
Yeah, I just heard rumors. But anyway, sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not sold on Wentz. I know he's good, but I don't think he's as good as maybe people make him out to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think his play calling makes him look a lot better than he actually is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree 100%. Matt Ryan.
Browns, Jets. Preems.
Wow, the Browns better win. Let's just put it that way. Is
that where you're going with?
Yeah, I got the Browns. They have to win. They don't have a choice. If they lose,
fire everyone, trade everyone.
Yeah.
Last place, tank.
I don't know what you do, but I got the Browns.
I got Browns as well. Justin?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns.
Oh, we got a clean sweep. We're back at it. Like that. Now for the next game, I'm just going through all the schedule to make sure I do it right. That is it. Sorry.
Good. No, the Browns and the Jets are the Monday night.
Monday night. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, that's week 3. I was looking at the Titans-Jags. I'm like, wait a second. They already played. We already got that prediction. So that was our predictions this week. I know once we're on live radio, we're going to be a lot more time constraints. It's going to be a little bit different from that format in terms of our predictions. So we're going to be starting when we go on live radio to put our live predictions on our social media pages just so everyone can follow that. And maybe the podcast side will go back to it when we can. But a little bit of overtime here on part 2 for that. We're going to make that up for part 3. 3. We're at the 35-minute mark here into part 2. We're going to take a break. Dave McCaig, Matt Premo, Justin Hykel inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill. As I said just 3 times in one sentence there before I said that, part 3 coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow SportsCenter on Facebook at SportsCenter SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. SportsCenter Bar and Grill, the Soo's best sports bar.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show inside SportsCenter Bar and Grill, part 3 of this September 11th edition of the game. 75-cent wing night here at SportsCenter. Delicious wings, beer, food, service. We're here like, oh my goodness, why wouldn't you be down here at SportsCenter Bar and Grill? This would make sense. I don't care if it's a Wednesday. I don't care if you work tomorrow. I don't care if your kids are in bed. They're sleeping. They got school tomorrow. Come on down to SportsCenter. Just do it. Sunday game day draws. Win 4 tickets inside Miller Lite Tap Room inside Detroit, Michigan. It's own Detroit Lions. I know all the Lions fans are happy to be Lions fans. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding because I shouldn't insult anything in terms of sports and all that. I understand. Dave McCaig, Matt, and Justin, as I mentioned. Part 3 of the show, round table, fellas. Antonio Brown saga. I'm going to go there. I want to start with a bang. Antonio Brown gets traded to the Raiders in the offseason. 3rd and 5th round pick. I've kind of put my volume down a little bit, so you might have to turn the volume on the other side because I'm going to start to escalate a little bit. He gets traded to the Raiders. I'm excited to be here, he says. Playing a Madden game, he gets a catch from Carr, and he goes, yep, this is going to happen all year, all this love that he's getting. And then when they go to the All-Star game, it was like love at first sight, they were saying, the Raiders. I don't even think they have that as a post anymore on Instagram. You probably check that out. Funny how that changed. And there was that they were perfect, and they wanted to be a Raider all along. Then what happens is, all of a sudden, I don't want to wear this helmet. It doesn't fit my head. I can't breathe in this helmet. Helmets are gorgeous, by the way, that they're wearing. They're very expensive helmets, And then all of a sudden, not playing. This upcoming week he's suspended. Oh, I'm sorry. He's playing. Oh, now he's not playing. Oh, I asked for my release on Instagram. And then you get your release on Instagram, which is through your post on Instagram, which is amazing. And then 2 hours later, after Steeler fans are literally doing jumping jacks and doing rolls down their driveway and getting excited, Antonio Brown is signed with the New England Patriots. And everyone's face goes, bruh. That is literally exactly what happened. And he is now a Patriot. And the memes going around the internet are absolutely insane. And this is sort of old news to people, but we haven't talked about it on the show. About 2 little babies running up and give each other a hug with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown's face on it. It's absolutely hilarious. The Score had it down. It's funny. You should check that out. Then they uploaded a picture together because I believe Antonio Brown is living with Tom Brady right now in his house. And Antonio Brown, without further ado right now, is actually under sexual assault investigation that comes out today. I don't know if Tom Brady kicked him out of the house because he might be with Giselle. No, I shouldn't say that. It's not appropriate. But
I mean, I was going to tee that one up and I held it in. So
I got to say, Antonio Brown saga. Let's just talk about it, okay? Is he a genius? Is he not a genius? He had a social media manager. He gets to go where he wants to go. I think he's an absolute loser for what he did. I don't care. You can penalize me, maybe slap on the wrist for saying that, anyone, and chirp me all you want. And I think the Steelers kept him contained all these years, and then they let him out and they let the wings fly. They let him fly from the nest, and now he's a loose cannon. Preems.
Yeah, this is kind of unreal, this whole situation. I want to know more about it.
It's strange.
It's so strange. And what I want to know more, I really care less about Antonio Brown, but I just want to know when he decided he was going to purposely get himself relief. I want to know if it was before training camp, before the helmet thing, or was it something that happened recently because he wasn't getting along?
Do you think it happened before the trade even? Do you think it was just all an act?
I don't know. That's what I want to know. I want to know, when did he put this plan in motion? Because it obviously seems like it was a plan for him to get released. Was it after he got traded? Was it after the helmet issue? Was it after the team fined him and took away his guaranteed money? And if at some point he decided this and he was talking, or his agent was talking to the Patriots, like I think the NFL has to investigate
there has
this.
to be some sort of like collusion.
There has to be an investigation.
To get signed that quick, too. Well, maybe it does happen that quick. I'm not sure. But if you get released, you just make a quick phone call.
I don't know what the tampering policy is like in the NFL. I know the NBA is pretty strict.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what it is like in the NFL, but I think it needs to be investigated. In terms of his sexual assault allegation and charges, I mean, that stuff's going to work itself out in the courtroom. I'm not going to say one way or the other.
His trainer, apparently, right?
Yeah, I read the emails online today. He can't even spell, or formulate a sentence for that matter. It was pretty bad. So in terms of the intelligence, I don't think he's very smart. But I just want to know when this was put in place, because it's kind of unfair if this was a plan all along, and if he was talking to the Patriots or his agent was talking to the Patriots. I think there has to be some kind of suspension put in place, and they got to find a way to prevent this happening in the future. To hire a social media team to find a way to get released. I mean, I would have released him too. I think the Raiders did the right thing, and obviously they look pretty good on Monday night.
Yeah. So why not keep him to rot? You got to pay him anyways.
I just think you want the headache out of there. I mean, you have to answer those questions. You see Bill Belichick's interview today. He's asked.
I felt bad for him, and I don't like him.
He's trying to answer questions about the assault allegations and this and that, and I wouldn't, as a coach, I would never want to have to deal with that stuff.
No.
I just let him go. It's not worth the headache, no matter how good he is. And if the Patriots want to put up with that and deal with that, good for them. I mean, they're getting a great football player, but as a coach and a teammate, I wouldn't want to play with that guy after what he did to the Raiders. When you're on a team, you're on a team, man.
And he played them.
Oh, he played them hard.
I think he did since day one. I think it was planned. He wanted to be a Patriot.
But to me, it looks like the Raiders never even game planned to have him involved. Like the way they looked on Monday, the
thing with his feet and the helmet, he wasn't really there much.
He was never there.
So in a sense, it was a good thing because they were able to game plan with these other guys. The other guys were getting first-team reps. It wasn't him getting any first-team reps. So their timing, it wasn't like a last-minute thing where he was there all along. So it kind of worked out good.
Sub guys in.
They lost the draft picks that they had to trade to Pittsburgh for him, which sucks. But he's a nightmare.
Steelers won that trade.
Obviously,
by far.
Yeah, he's a nightmare as a teammate. How do you trust a guy like that? Like, in football is the ultimate team sport that requires the most amount of trust for the other guy to do his job. How do you trust a guy like that? I don't know. It bothers me.
The Patriots have built teams full of those guys, though.
Does New England release him?
I think they'll let the investigation play out because who knows? He could be innocent for all that matter. I mean, what better time to bring him forward the allegation than right now? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's part of me wonders if the Patriots even knew that this was a thing.
Mm-mm.
Or did Belichick just get blindsided by this too?
I think it was just filed on Monday.
Because Belichick looked rattled in that press conference, saying he doesn't often.
Oh, and he doesn't put up with shit either. You know what? You can hate the Patriots all you'd like, but they run a good ship there. That's why they're such a good organization. Now, and people only don't like them, from what I understand, more so from what I've gathered. I don't know about you, Justin, but I don't like them because they win all the time.
Well, that's it. Everyone's just envious of success.
Yeah.
There's I don't know. It's the same reason I hate the Boston Bruins, because they beat us all the time.
Boston. But Antonio Brown right now when he play, he's supposed to slot it to play this week.
No,
he practiced today.
But can he play, or is
he
it?
Could play. Yeah, he was eligible to Monday to put him on, or he was first practice day. I think Monday they could put him on the team. But they put him on the team, then the allegations come out. But that'll work itself out. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, I'm not going to judge on that until they'll go through the courts and that'll figure itself out. But I wouldn't want him on my team. I wouldn't want him as a coach, as a teammate. I couldn't trust the guy.
Thoughts on him, Justin, in terms of just the way he handled that situation, man? Absolute, is loser the right term? Is that appropriate to use? I don't know. Is it?
In what other workplace could a 31-year-old man pull that off?
Well, what did he expect was going to happen? If it was any other organization, he would have been fined or terminated. What did he expect the Raiders to do?
It. I think I'm kudos to Mayock for finally saying, "Screw you! Give me your guaranteed money's gone."
Yeah.
If you want to play football, play football. Oh, you don't? You just want to be here for money and to be on TV?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think some of these guys, their personal brand gets so big, and then they get caught up in that.
It's more than the team. It's more than football.
Yeah, and they're generating money off their name and their brand, and I think they lose sight of what they're really there to do. And I mean, good on them. You can make extra money off your name and your likeness, and that's all good. But it comes down to it's a team sport, and if your teammates can't trust you, or if you're more of a headache than you're worth as an athlete on the field.
And to be completely honest, like, what would you rather be? Would you rather be, hey, cool, this guy was Antonio Brown for 10 years, but he didn't. What did he do besides catch 1,500 yards a year? He didn't win anything. Or do you want to be the guy that was on the team that?
Heck, as soon as he took over as number one receiver, Steelers didn't win. We won the year before he became the number one receiver.
Like, there's guys that are treasured in their cities that they've won on, and they weren't big players. And then there's big name players that just disappear.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a 30 for 30 on this guy in a couple years.
I want to see when the whole story comes out and you hear the information from everyone involved. If they get from the social media manager to the Raiders front office to everyone, I think it's got to be a 30 for 30. I've never seen anything like this.
No, and I mean, even Terrell Owens said, like, I wasn't even that bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's,
and he wasn't. All he was is he was mocking on the field. That's what Terrell Owens did. He went to center, like I say center field, right? But he went right, and he was at the Dallas Cowboys where he put his hand up to the sky, I believe.
He spiked the ball on the star.
Yeah,
he played for the Niners.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was good.
Antonio Brown, I remember saying when he came in the league, I said, the guy is overrated. He's not. I was wrong about that. Maybe the word I should use is that this guy is a goof.
Crazy. Lost his mind.
Yeah, literally lost his mind, and his hair is absolutely atrocious too. Like, everything about the guy is just a joke. And I hope this year when he plays, like, he has one of the worst offensive seasons he's ever had. And at the end of the day, I hope he gets released and he ends up on the Miami Dolphins when it comes next season. Then you can really look back and say, I had it good in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Dolphins would have to take him though.
I don't.
They probably wouldn't at this time.
They're not going to pay him. They're in rebuild mode. They're not. They wouldn't want him even.
No, definitely.
It's only a contender that was.
Roundtable consensus. I'm saying you're a loser. I don't know if you guys want to go that road.
I don't have any respect for him. Teach, if that's how you're going to make millions of dollars, I'm not making millions of dollars, so kudos to you.
Yeah.
But that's not my cup of tea.
No.
Yeah, not a guy I'd want to coach or play beside.
No.
That's been In the Pocket, fellas. Good first comeback of In the Pocket. Good chat. I got two more topics. I know one was prepared. My one bonus topic coming up that you're going to like, I believe, to get into. But the second topic, we're going to jump into is Mitch Marner. Now, the reason why we're talking about hockey on a Wednesday show is because we don't have a show tomorrow from Northern Superior Brewing Company. So we're going to get some bonus teas so we get ready for next week. Because, Justin, you know what happens next week, pal? We get to talk hockey. Oh, my goodness. Hockey is just around the old corner, if you will. But Mitch Marner remains unsigned still going into camp. And this has been the main social media and chat about all day. We've offered, and breaking news here while I say that.
No, it's definitely a meme.
Oh, it's a meme.
It's 100% a meme.
I was going to read that.
That's good.
Okay, now I get it. Okay.
It's John Gruden.
John Gruden. Okay, I like that. If anyone's wondering what we're talking about, it's a meme on NFL memes on Instagram. Give it a check out. I was going to say that I thought that was actually a picture. I actually got fooled there. I can't believe it. And no, we are definitely not editing that out. I think that's hilarious how I totally got goofed there. But getting back to Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner remains unsigned. He wants $11 million is what he was offered for 7 years, and he said no. But he wants Matthews money in a letter now, where apparently he wanted 11 in a letter. Justin, is this not a frickin' joke now? Have you had enough of this kid, or am I the only guy that's going to say that right now on radio?
I don't know, and at this point, if I'm the general manager and I've got a 19 or 20-year-old kid coming into me and telling me that I need a letter and to be part of your team, I tell him, okay, well, here's a couple letters in this piece of paper telling you that I'm retaining your rights and you can go sit at home on the couch.
Yeah, and sit there and rot.
Until you sort this out.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go to another NHL team. You can go play in another country on your own insurance money.
Yeah.
If you feel like it. But I'm going to sit here and bury you.
Exactly.
Like, you can't. You eventually, there has to be a line drawn where the players, like the inmates, aren't running the asylum there.
Or let them go offer sheet route, use those picks, give someone else an offer sheet. I don't give a crap about this.
If you think you're worth the Matthews money, then take a bridge deal.
Yep. Prove it. Breams, what do you think about the whole Marner scenario?
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, $11 million per for 7 years. Like, I don't know why you're not taking that. Plus, you're in the best hockey market in the world. your endorsement.
Well, that's what I think. It's like the endorsement potential there. Like, if you're gonna bust balls over an extra $1 million, trust me, there's some mom burger shop or something somewhere in Toronto that's gonna pay you 3 times that to eat their burger once a week.
He just had a commercial with Matthews on Apple. You tell me that he didn't make money off that.
Sports Check or whatever, someone's not, or Reebok, Bauer, any of these companies isn't going to light him up with a huge endorsement, or if they already haven't already, like, he's the biggest hockey market in the world.
And you don't think maybe he's a little upset about Patrick Marleau?
I don't think that has to do it. I think his agent's telling him, no, this is what you're worth, and this is what we're holding out for. And he just trusts his agent. He's 18, 19 years old. What does he know? Like, you know what I mean? $11 million is probably more than he ever imagined making ever in his entire life. And his agent probably telling him he's worth more than that based on what the market is. And I don't know about requesting to be an assistant captain or a captain. Like, that's just insane. I mean, if you need a letter on your jersey to validate something, then you're not the type of guy. You're not the type of guy I want on my team either.
You know what? He's
a great player. He seems like a good kid. Like, but you get agents involved and money involved.
I think he's just being pulled. At no point are you ever going to hear Marner's actual opinion on this. You're only going to hear speculative and what comes out of his agent or what his dad spits off on Leafs lunch every once in a while.
But Overdrive today, the guys on Overdrive went off on Mitch Marner today.
I think there's something to be said when your dad's coming out in public and saying stuff and your agent's coming out in public and saying stuff, and they contradict each other. Like, you can tell that this is just a kid. And that's what it is. He's a 19-year-old kid who's playing, 2 hours away from home in the biggest hockey market in the universe.
Apparently the team that he wanted to be on his entire life and his dream place to play.
11
he wants to win a cup.
More
you don't think
money.
Oiler fans are sitting somewhere right now? You know how much we chirped Leon Draisaitl, and Dane said, eat my words? He's right. I'm eating my words. Draisaitl's $8.5 million is looking pretty freaking peachy right now. If Marner said, hey, I'll take $8.5 million for 6-7 years, I'd be pumped.
Yeah, and in the grand scheme of things, you know who's not holding out or doing anything stupid? Nathan McKinnon making $6.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's just crazy. And I don't know. I haven't.
He took that deal as a discount when he signed.
I haven't read up enough on it. Is Marner want a shorter term? Is that?
They're talking 3 years, is what the rumor is, but then they're saying 7. But if he wants 7, he wants Matthews money. 12. 11.634
He's not
12.
a centerman, though.
No, and that's
why centermans get paid more. Though.
No.
Like,
you're a winger. You're made and broken by who's.
And now people are saying
down the middle.
Now people are saying unnecessary signing to get Tavares because you keep Marner. Fuck that. Sorry, there's my bad swear of the day. You're wrong. I'd rather Tavares than Marner. I'm sorry, centermen are prime.
Centermen are you build your team around your centerman.
I would rather have a bulletproof 4 guys down the middle and figure it out on the wing than.
I agree. And if everyone doesn't forget, like a year ago when Tavares was like the hottest thing on the market and everyone was trying to land him, and forget he's like one of the best hockey players in the world, and he's been so for a long time.
Yes, he has.
Playing in a bad market.
Yeah.
I think people forget that,
and he did it with P.A. Parento, where he got like 90 points plus.
He's a solid player, and centermen get paid more for a reason. They're an important part of the team. You build from the center row. Every team has the same kind of model. I don't think how many teams build from the wingers.
No.
You know what I mean?
And that's the big thing is you miss camp and you have that. But if you let Marner go and you take those 4 first-round picks, you can offer sheet Line 8, Brady Tkachuk. Screw it. Go ahead and do it. Because you know who can afford Mitch Marner? Not those teams that are going to have low draft picks. It's going to be those teams that are going to have high draft picks this year. Wow. So you put your offer sheet out, and you need. This is the only problem though. To put out an offer sheet, you need to have your first round pick. You need to have your picks. That's the problem.
Can't be acquired through a trade.
Exactly. So you need to call Carolina and be like, hey man, I want my first round pick back. Okay, for example, Mitch goes to Columbus for an offer sheet. Give us Columbus's first. Perfect. You take Columbus's. You take your pick back. You're replenished, and then you friggin' put an offer sheet at Brady Tkachuk. You throw an offer sheet at Laine. I don't care. You throw an offer sheet at some other wingers that are going to complement Tavares or something for lesser, and you still get to keep other draft picks because no other winger is asking for over $10 million except Mitch Marner. Nobody else.
I take Laine.
like at the end of the day, Mitch Marner is offering an absurd amount of money, and I think I thought $10 million for 5 years got it locked up.
I don't know.
That's where I thought would have got locked, but obviously I'm incorrect.
My argument with that is go be an $11 million player on another team that doesn't have Austin Matthews, John Tavares, etc.
Kerfoot, Kapanen, Janssen, Tyson Barrie now, Muzzin, Riley, Anderson, Babcock is your coach, Kyle Dubas, Brendan Shannon. The list goes on, and as you just said, Preem's the hockey mecca of the world. Yeah. Number one mark in the world, next to probably the Montreal Canadiens, as much as I don't want to say.
To be completely honest, I mean, if Marner's not there in training camp next week, I'm kind of excited to see what Jason Spezza looks like on the wing.
Very
Jason
true.
Spezza.
Yeah, I forgot they picked him up.
Jason Spezza.
Old vet.
It's not a bad...
No, it's not.
He's solidified as their fourth-line center, but Babcock said he wants to get him time on the power play on the top two.
Playmaker on the wing.
That's an impressive...
Yeah, they have a solid squad. I mean, I think Marner can just figure it out, get it signed before training camp. They're going to have a great team. And I mean, I don't know. How do you turn down 7-8 years, $11 million per? Like, how do you sit at the negotiating table and be like, that's not enough?
Yeah,
you know what?
He didn't give me an A. That's not enough.
And there's nothing guaranteed. If you do a bridge deal or shorter term, 3 years, what is you get injured and
then he's out?
And you're like,
he gets career
ending.
Yeah.
Career ending. What's to say that doesn't happen? And then in your third year, your contract, then you can't get any money. Take the guaranteed money, man.
Yep, and play for a sport that you love and apparently where you dreamed to play. Topic 3, quickly, fellas, before we go, it'll be a quick topic. Bianca Andresscu.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about that.
Bianca Andresscu. She wins a major, wins the U.S. Open. First Canadian to do so, cracks the top 5 in the rankings now, beats Serena Williams against a hostile crowd against her. One of the greatest tennis matches I've seen in a long time. I was very excited that whole matchup. Bianca winning. That's exciting.
Yeah, I was excited. I was watching at a local establishment, fist pumping and pumped up, and it was great. I mean, I'm just impressed with her mental toughness and mindset. Like going against the greatest female tennis player, maybe greatest female athlete of all time, and just unfazed by it and just zoned in, locked in, and aggressive and attacking.
Lets her have it.
It was awesome.
It's been a summer of championships in Canada.
Yeah, it was great. I was all about hashtag She the North. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And
champagne poppy.
The numbers were unreal. The people that tuned in to watch that were more than the Stanley Cup Finals in Canada. That. So it's great to see the support there for a sport that's not in the mainstream usually. And then see someone from Canada being so successful, and she's climbed up number 5 in the world. Just awesome to see, and looks like we have a young star, 19 years old.
So young.
And in the interview, she seems very personable. I think she's going to get some endorsement deals thrown at her. She's going to have a very bright future. I mean, from where she went to begin this year, she's ranked 100-something in the world. Now she's in the top 5. What a year. Starting with the Indian Wells, their first tournament she won, winning the Canadian Open, U.S. Open. You can't act she's the Canadian Athlete of the Year. I think it's done. I don't think anyone else can even come close to challenging her for that award right now. Great to see it. It was awesome. But her mental toughness, the way she approaches the game and just unfazed by Serena Williams.
She just wants to be better. That's it. It's not.
And her competitive. She's so competitive.
There's nothing. There's not. It's not a complicated answer from her. It's like, what are you going to do next? Oh, I'm going to be number 1.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's her goal. She just wants to keep getting better, and that's what she said in her interviews, and just keep improving. And that's not gonna be her last major she wins. I think there'll be more coming in.
Everyone thought that it was gonna be Eugenie Bouchard. Hey, that really lasted.
The big difference with this chick is she doesn't seem like she enjoys the publicity, but she's not interested in being there all the time. Like she was on Tim and Sid at the end of the day today, and she said, "I'm just looking forward to getting back to practice."
Yeah.
That's
not. This isn't normal for her. All the attention and everything.
As an athlete, it's cool to see that when you sometimes there's a lot of people doing this just to get to. I could be a top 10 tennis player and I'll cash some checks and then I'll have a comfortable life, whatever. This girl wants to win and be number 1. That's.
And just to see her trading shots with Serena Williams, in the power even with her swing in such a young age.
Well, she's 19? She's gonna get better.
Yeah, and she has the mental part figured out already. To me that's the most impressive part, because usually there's a learning curve for that part of the game, right? And you have to learn how to win, especially
patience
at that level of the sport, and being so young to just have that figured out already. I think that's a huge part of it. So we're going to see her win quite a bit going forward. it seems like Serena Williams really likes her. You see the post-game interview.
Well, yeah, it seems like there might be a little bit of like a rivalry going on there.
They have a friendship. But when she had to withdraw from the Canadian Open final there, the Rogers Cup, Bianca went and kind of consoled her, and you know what I mean, and said like, I've been looking up to you since I was a kid. So Serena Williams played in her first U.S. Open before Bianca Andresscu was even born. That's how long Serena Williams has been doing it. Yep. It's crazy, but it seems like they have a little bit of a friendship going there. And she even said if I didn't win, she's glad that Bianca won. That's what she said in the post-match press conference there. So that's pretty cool to see some recognition from one of the best to ever do it, and definitely a cool moment for Canada and Canadian sports.
Definitely is. It's definitely great to see, and she's my and all of ours thumbs up, I would say. For
definitely, I'm definitely a fan for sure.
Definitely, it's going to be exciting to see what she can do in the future going forward. Fellas, that's been the first show back since Labor Day. After Labor Day, since August back at Sportscenter. Since August 20th was our first show here in Soo, Ontario. It's been great. We've went 17 minutes over time at least, but that's fine. We have to get that crunched down by live radio time here in Soo, Ontario, but we always get it done when we have to, and it's some great stuff we have to get to. We had a lot of stuff to get to today, though. We had to get some stuff for hockey and local sports because we're not going to have a show tomorrow from Northern. Just get a reminder that we will not have a show at Northern, as I mentioned, tomorrow, but we will be back at 4 shows next week. ESPN Monday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. ESPN 1400. 7 o'clock now on Soo Online on TV. It'll be 1 hour-long show. We have a very big surprise and an announcement with the show. And I'm going to say it on this podcast because I want to promote it. Soo Memes has joined the Game Sports Show. Soo Memes will be on the on-TV Soo Online portions, having surprise appearances on the show with some memes, maybe some audio take with him on scene, giving some reaction and just some of his insight, but just to be himself on TV screen, let's just say. And for people that know who he is, I got to meet officially who he was after much speculation. Doesn't suit what people think that he is, but sorta does. Very excited to get him to be working with the show on the on-TV side. So he'll be on the show on Tuesday, is what's planned. And Daniel Scarpino will also be on Tuesday with some soccer insight. And also we're hoping that Craig Hartsburg can join us next week again, as he is a part of the staff here on the Game Sports Show. We got almost 10 people on our staff here on the Game Sports Show. It's fantastic. So next week, as I mentioned, Tuesday, Soo Online, 7 o'clock. Then SportsCenter will be back here at 9 o'clock. Next week, projected. Live radio might change that time to be at 7. Potentially, we are unsure, but 9 o'clock next week is what's slotted for. Then next week at Northern, we will be there at around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock will be our magic number this year at Northern Superior Brewing Company. Now, Justin, I want to say thanks to you, my friend, and we will see you potentially on the weekend if you and I can stop in at we're going to be stopping at the Thunderbird game briefly and get some reaction, get everything there. But even after that, next week, you're ready to get this season underway, the 2019-2020 radio busy season.
We are back into it, full bore.
We never have. It's always a full season. We're around all day, every day, all year. But our busy time is obviously September to May. In terms of local sports, professional sports keeps us going all the time. But Premo, week 1 for us out of a restart of 52 weeks of our restart here on the Game Sports Show. Great first show, my friend.
Yeah, to shake a little bit of the rust off, but glad to be back and happy that football season's underway. The best time of the year in my mind. But yeah, no, great to be back and get things fired up again, and looking forward to the rest of the NFL season and high school season.
Definitely a lot of exciting things, and you can see the Game Sports Show on scene everywhere local. Any sport and team you think of, Game Sports Show's there. Heck, even professional sports this year, you can see the Game Sports Show a lot of places this year. Don't hesitate to follow us at the Game Sports Show on Instagram and on Facebook, thegamesportshow.com. And don't hesitate about the Win 4 tickets inside the Miller Lite Tap Room in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, with the Lions. You have a chance to win tickets to go see the Lions. Definitely be a good trip to go down to and be a part of that tap room, and it's beautiful in there for sure. I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors that are a part of the Game Sports. So Soo Online on TV, ESPN 1400, Sovereign Communications, Northern Superior Brewing Company, Icebreaker Sports Bar and Grill, Discover the Canvas Salon, the Superior Pro Shop, of course, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Big Brother, Big Sister, Northern Quitters in Need, and North Shore Sports and Auto. And speaking of North Shore Sports and Auto, by the end of the month, we have a big announcement coming with North Shore Sports and Auto and the Game Sports Show as well. So that's just point one of the big announcements of the Game Sports Show and the brand of the game going forward this year. So we're happy they're able to join us here tonight on behalf of Justin, Matt, Scott Nason, and the beautiful...
Take it easy, Dave. I can't be Jamie here.
Alicia White. Sorry we took that thunder from Jamie. And David McCaig here from Sportscenter Bar and Grill. I want to wish you all a good rest of your night, your day, whatever time of the day you're listening to. And until Monday from ESPN Studios, reminding you, keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, train your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.